I'm muted. Yeah, so I don't know what to say in a lot of regards. It was really shocking. Really, really shocking. So we'll go over some of the stats today. I'll get some of the running stats up just to make sure I've got things ready to go. All right, cool. But yeah, we're going to have a little chat with a couple of people. We've already got one in the chat. If you feel like chatting or jumping in, saying anything, feel free. Quickly, I'll go over my thoughts. It was just shocking. Like the turnovers, I mean, were pretty bad across the board. Sinclair, McRae, Naz were leading us in that regard. So, geez, it could have been a lot better. Otherwise, yeah, let's get the first person on here in Heath. Heath, mate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Perfect, mate. I can hear you too. What did you think?
Utter embarrassing to say the least. It was. I've never seen us play that bad.
Yeah, bang on, mate. Yeah, it's hard to kind of pinpoint where exactly we went wrong. Like, honestly, some of the disposals were just shocking. Naz, his kicking just efficiency was at 46.2%. It's not good enough. I mean, it's not like he wasn't anywhere near our worst today. When Angus got dropped or pulled, that didn't really surprise me much. He did a few okay moments, but that transitional period we had in the middle there was just, it was just beggars. But we had so many people open and nothing happened. It's it feels similar to what we've done in a few games now. We've got the opportunities, we just don't take them. I don't know, man. What did you think? Am I seeing things that maybe just aren't achievable? What were your thoughts?
Oh, I really don't know. It looked like, from my point of view, from I was watching it, I was like, are we even trying? Or like West Coast were first to the ball. I think we just lacked effort, intensity, couldn't stick our tackles to save ourselves. We were just too fumbly. Absolutely terrible. It was the worst thing I've seen as a Saints fan. Like, losing to a shit team in West Coast was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fair few people with some sort of, I suppose you'd say, not great opinions going into the match, but like I didn't think that was going to be like the case, and they were proven right. The Warriors were correct there, mate. So yeah, I don't know. Were you one that worried about this match beforehand?
No, I genuinely thought we were going to win going into it. West Coast lost 9, but with the death of this Adam Selwood, it was terrible. Condolences to the family. It was like, with that happening, I just knew that they were going to come out firing, but I didn't think they were going to come out firing to the extent that they were going to beat us, and I was proven wrong.
Yeah, same. Just kind of trying to have a quick look over what we've got. Looking at it, there was I don't know, I'm trying to find like positives, right? Like, I guess Higo. I don't know, mate. Like, this is shocking. So yeah, it'll be tough. It was interesting. Like, I was looking at it early, and even early, it wasn't looking great. Just in terms of like intercepts and turnovers and their scores from in that first half were just, they weren't looking great. When we did link up and didn't just turn it over, I mean, there was options that, were good. I mean, it was mentioned in the broadcast a bit, but there was just so many marks that should have been taken and kicks that just should have hit the pass. And you kind of wonder when it's basic level stuff like that. It's difficult. Yeah, mate. Do you have any positives? Anybody you think stood up?
I thought Higgins did well. Like his 5 goals in a losing team, that really good. I thought Naz was okay without being amazing. Yeah, we got, what was it, 28, 30 disposals or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know how many of those were actually effective kicks. I think most of them were either just dinky kicks or just kicking under pressure. McRae was quiet, but he got into it.
Yeah, I mean, the hard thing for me is, right, you look at the base level stats and you just go disposals, and I might share screen now. So quickly share screen. We'll go to the fixtures. Share that really quickly. You look at Sinclair, he got the most, followed by Naz, and then Rowan and McRae. And then you go over to advanced stats, you go turnovers, and then it's Sinclair, McRae, and Naz. And I mean, it's just not, you can't turn it over that much. Like the base level chains of what we were doing, like we don't have chains yet, unfortunately, but yeah, some of the base level stuff that we were doing was just shocking. I mean, Toby was all right coming on. I thought he showed a little bit, but yeah, there wasn't much. Kammer did all right. A fair few intercept possessions there, but yeah, it was few and far between, mate. Like
I reckon they exposed our small back line.
they exposed like, yeah, they did. The problem I find is we were just shocked. Like, let's go quickly team stats, but like disposal efficiency, yeah, we're about 4 points worse, a little bit below our average for the season. I mean, yeah, it was just pretty shocking, man. Like the numbers maybe don't tell the entire tale. Maybe they do in some regards. Like we won the clearances pretty convincingly. We won possession, both contested and uncontested. We turned it over more. I mean, in that last little bit, we got smashed and just kind of gave up, which seems to happen sometimes in quarters, sometimes at the end of matches. Marks, we got a fair few. I mean, we got our average, but I mean, it's 20 more, and it just didn't look good. I mean, at one stage we were up contested marks 9-4 at like half time, and then we got 3 more for the match. So, I mean, I understand we weren't doing great at half time, but it's not like we transitioned any of that outside run into scoring, really. I mean, maybe a little in that last quarter, but
I don't think we coped with their pressure, honestly.
yeah, I mean, where were the 1%ers are a little bit off. Tackles I-50. I mean, this isn't crazy numbers. Like the problem is, like their pressure wasn't absurd. The problem was we were off in every regard. Like there's, and it comes down to a lot of that positioning stuff that I've mentioned in a few videos with Jake. Like if you're transitioning forward and you turn it over, you've basically given the option for the Eagles to run it coast to coast. Like I would assume, like we probably turned it over more in the forward half, in their on our defensive half, their forward half. But it's just when you do that, all your players are out of position. Like you've got to at least, like if you're going to turn it over, like not defensively on the transition straight away when everybody moves out of the spot they should be in. It's just
And
frustrating, mate.
honestly, I don't think we looked for the right options at times. Like you said, turn the ball over. We gave it straight back, and we didn't know what to do with it. It's like we were running around running around like headless chooks.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm hesitant to really like call people out in a video, particularly on Jake's channel.
Mm.
But I'm getting to the point where I think, like, if I was Ross Lyon, I'd be swinging the axe so hard this week. Like Bradley Hill, I've avoided saying anything about him, but he's been shocking. And like tonight, I think it was second quarter, 17 minutes 30. He got a handball receive off the back of off half back on the camera side. He didn't have anybody to go to. He called from the ball off of a mark. We had clean possession. He goes to rush it, has nobody he's looked for before he's called it, or at least they've not remained open by the time he's got to him, and he's still calling for it. He gets the ball, tries to cross it 15 meters in our defensive half, and overshoots the target. And like these things are just unforgivable sort of plays. Like he's got a really bad habit of asking for the ball in the worst spot possible. And it's unfortunate because I think Darcy Wilson's developed a little bit of a habit for it as well. And
I was gonna,
it's just frustrating, man.
yeah, I know. Do you actually begin to question Ross Lyon and what he's going about it? Like, do you reckon does he even change the game plan? Like when things are not going our way?
I mean, it's a reasonable question. Like, it's probably something that does, I mean, need to be discussed in some regard at some point of the season if this sort of stuff continues to happen. But I mean, right now, no. The only reason I say that is because like I feel like you can see what they're trying to do, but like half the time they're hitting up a pass that didn't need like Sinclair had it in the forward 50, like, and tried to hit up Pooh in the like on just as tight as angle as him, 15 meters away from him. Like, just take the fucking shot. Like, there's so many obvious plays that don't happen, and then sometimes they see the obvious play, and I mean, they either screw it up or make it so obvious that like there's inherent pressure straight away. Like, it's hard to describe what's going wrong because I feel like they just go for the wrong instruction at the wrong time. And it's like they've got all the right instructions, but they're not choosing when to do it correctly. And they're not really executing base level skills either in a lot of regards. And that puts a further pressure on themselves and the coaches to say, why aren't you hitting these shots? They're 15-meter passes. Why are you even taking a 15-meter pass in the forward 50 when you're on the same angle as this person? Like go for the shot or somebody else. There's an element of like, what are we doing?
I
So
just think we're not executing the basics properly in terms of skills and just the basic passes, and we just overcomplicate things. Like, if I think we just need to, I don't know, do the basics properly before you do like the overcomplicated stuff. Like, it's not hard. I thought you meant to look for your options, do the right options, kick to the basic passes, but they just seem to overcomplicate things. It's frustrating.
yeah, definitely. And Jai, bro, like, man, you're still last. It's whatever, bro. Like, you can be happy, and I'm glad that you are. But like, end of the day, we suck. But like, you only just got past us, man. Like, so enjoy. But that's footy, bro. That's footy. You're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, and we're having a down one. That is for sure. But look, at the end of the day, you're right. It is base level stuff that's not getting executed. It puts further pressure on us to just execute that. And don't, as I go back to Hill with these overlap, like calling for the running hand pass without having an option that you've thought about. Like, what are you doing, man? Like you're putting yourself under further pressure before you've started executing base level stuff. And I think Hill is an unfortunate scapegoat here, right? Like this is across the whole team, and it's asking for the ball in stupid positions. It's doing stupid things with the ball. Like it's odd, man. Like a lot of it could work really well, but these leads into the pocket when you've got two dudes on you and you're 15 meters away from it are silly for one, but it should mean if you've got two dudes on him, there's someone else that should be free. Like it's frustrating, dude. It's very, very frustrating.
Did you even see Shepherds that any players put on their teammates when an opponent was hot on their tail or communication? Because I didn't see that at all.
Very minor efforts. I mean, and that's a lot of it. It is communication. It's awareness. One thing I like about Naz, and I see it quite a bit with him, is when he's got a ball that goes a little bit above his head and he's going for a mark, because it happens more often than I'd like. He's circling back and he grabs it and he looks that way and then he just circles back to the other side. By that point, he's looked at the whole ground. He's had at least a bare minimum look, right? And from there he goes, right, there's nobody really right in front of me. I'll run. Like there's a few of our players that don't look before they call and go for a run. And they have pressure on them and they're in no better position than any of our other players. I think it was Hugo Garcia got a ball on the 50 far side in that last quarter, and even Steely did it. Like he's facing Hugo, he's got pressure right on his back. Hugo could have bombed it in. All Steele's done is called for it, facing Hugo, running away from the 50, and then essentially come back in and swung on his foot for the same long kick that Hugo could have done, right? But Hugo could see the ground in front of him. Steele ran away from the 50, turned around to then have a look and bomb at that point, all you've done is you've given your opportunity, like you've given the defense more time to man up on your opportunity and figure out what's going on. So it's these things where you're calling for it in stupid positions. And it's a lot of our senior players, to be honest. It's Steele, it's Hill, it's a few of them. And I'm starting to see it happen to younger players. Like we've mentioned, I don't want to harp on it on individuals, but yeah, Wilson has not been the same this year. And I think he's learnt a few bad habits, to be honest. And I think it's calling for the ball in bad positions, in just running past somebody, being under as much pressure as them, particularly when we've gotten a mark and they're going for the overlap. That's the one that does my head in. But yeah, mate, there's a lot to unpack from this one. I don't know. Before I kind of, I go kind of final thoughts here, mate. Is there again something that you'd change? Like if you were Ross and you were going to swing the axe this week, what do you think?
I would I would. Don't get me wrong, I like Brad Hill, but I reckon swing the axe, drop him, make a statement. And Wilson as well. Like you said, he hasn't been the same. Just drop him. He just needs to get the bad habits out of his game and build good habits. Because if you don't build good habits, then why? Then you're gonna continue to have bad habits and make mistakes. If you know what I mean.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, like I agree, and I feel bad saying Wilson particularly because it really wasn't Wilson's worst game. Like he's played worse this year, and it's just that he's one that I know has a lot of potential and like really believe in him, but from where he could have been this year to where he is a little bit off where I expected. In fact, I think he played more half forward this week, and I actually liked what he did. He got what, a goal or two? So to be fair, Wilson's probably not the one I'd drop, but Hill, yeah. I don't think McLennan can get back in the side. Um, I don't know. There's a few, man. Like if we had another forward, I'd be tempted to drop Sharman in some regards. But it's not as if he's played bad all year. It's probably just a down game. So
It didn't
I
help
don't know.
when
In some regards, Hill is the one that stands out for me. I think there needs to be some level of like accountability to the seniors and saying, hey, like your spot's not just set because you're one of the bigger names in our senior group. And I think that's where Hill's the obvious one for me. It feels like low hanging fruit, but yeah,
yeah,
something happened. Like the last 2 weeks have been pretty shocking.
terrible. I know. Do you really think Ross Lyon would have the guts to drop someone like a Brad Hill if he like? I'm just wondering, like, would he actually drop Brad Hill? Knowing
I
Ross,
mean, maybe you call it managed to the wider AFL community, but like he's the one that stands out as not being great so far this year of the majors, like, and not having a particularly good game to kind of lean towards saying, hey, this is what he does on his good days. Yeah, he hasn't had a good day many times, but he hasn't had that one time yet this year, and we're 10 matches in. Like, it's just things need to change. We can't run this sort of lineup into the end of the year. We're not rewarding form at lower level. I mean, like I think Travalier, if he can pull out that sort of performance from the go next week, because I think he deserves a proper go, then
yeah,
I couldn't see him coming out of the lineup because he was one of the few that dived in hard and put his head over the ball. And there was a couple of times it didn't come off, sure, but like he was hard at it. And we need people to at least be hard when they go to the contest because we're having way too many tackles that aren't effective. There's so many little areas that just aren't that 5-10% more that it should be, and all of it's 5-10% down. And it's when that all happens, it compounds, man, and we're losing to West Coast. Like, as
yeah.
much as West Coast played well, don't get me wrong. If there are West Coast fans out there, we did suck compared to you. Don't get me wrong, but it's we're not going to change if we just back up the same performances with the same people forever. We can drum it in and into their skulls, but like there needs to be opportunities for others that are trying their heart out at lower levels, and there's enough people that aren't doing it well enough in the senior team. So
Like if we don't start making a statement at selection, like dropping, like I said, key play, we're just you begin to question our season, and it's going to fade away really quickly if we don't do something about it. Because I don't know, it's not looking good. But put out these performances, and where you're not going to win many games if you're going to continue to dish that out every week.
bang on. And like the thing for me is as well, right? Like obviously we're trying to put out a team that's competitive every week. Don't get me wrong. But if we know we're in a rebuilding period and we know that the sides we're putting up aren't going to get the premiership, well, at least most likely not. The odds are against them, and like we're kind of not getting performances week to week from them either. to really show the younger kids what to do. They're not really holding a spot for a good reason. Like they're experienced, but their experience is doing nothing. Like it's turning it over to the most dangerous spot because they know where to go because it's the most dangerous spot. But like if we're turning it over straight away there, you know, it's not only the most dangerous spot for us to go to on the ground, it's the most dangerous spot from there to then launch to from if we lose the ball. So it's frustrating. It should be these 15, 20-meter kicks shouldn't be hard to hit. And like the mark shouldn't be dropped. As much as I love Pooh, we were out on the wing once and he dropped a fair sitter on the boundary. And it was just so many times where just basics just didn't happen.
Because I think our team has gone away from I don't think they've heard of possession footy, slow the game up to take the sting out of it, because West Coast had all the momentum in the quarters, but we didn't slow the game down and reset and figure out our next option going forward, not, oh, we're stuck and we don't know what to do. It was pretty much like that.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to go through the middle a little bit. I think it was about 20% of our sort of defensive chains. But it wasn't it didn't lead to much. And I'm waiting for it to all kind of update so I could show you guys, but it's not yet. Might not even do it tonight. We'll see. But it's hard because at the end of the day, these are base level things. When you destroy them in disposals, kicking, hand passes, inside 50s are pretty even. But look at where they're at. Look at where they've been at for the year and what we let them do. That's a huge jump.
Oh my God.
And it's we're 6% down on efficiency. That's maybe a couple of extra inside 50s that actually are effective and things like that. But it's not until the end of the match, we didn't look like we were doing anything. If we go to the worm, we got 6 goals, 2 in the last quarter to their, again, 6 goals, 2. But I mean, it makes you wonder, why are we playing so horribly in the first sort of, first half of the match or so, to then try and unleash and have moments where it looked all right, but again, moments where it looked terrible too. There's such a huge chasm between what we can do and what we do sometimes that it's difficult to say, is it working properly? It's difficult to say, as you said earlier, is Ross's plan correct? I genuinely think I've seen things that suggest it's probably the right idea in a lot of ways, but or at least what I think is the right idea in a lot of ways, but it's consistently not executed well. And part of that's senior leadership. Part of that's being young. Part of it's some players, I do wonder if they're long-term really in the best for our needs. Because as much as I love certain players, I'll go through some of them here. I wonder why Webster's still getting games consistently. He's not terrible, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we should have had a better back pocket develop at some point in the last 5 years. I mean, Patton looked like he was on the way there at one point, but unfortunately didn't kind of do that. I wonder about Burns, because I don't know if he's really effective with his ball. I don't think he's terrible with it, but I don't think he's great with it either. Caminiti, I didn't think could make it as a forward, but I do think potentially could be a fullback and a reasonable one. And in some regards, I wonder why we brought Howard back to be injured fairly quickly 2 weeks in, and then move Caminiti out of a position he looked reasonable in. Maxwell's been all right. I won't say too much about him. He's ticked most of the boxes you'd want from a player that's, that sort of young. Liam O'Connell's been a surprise packet. Garcia has had moments, but has had very disappointing moments as well. And I think Wood has been similar this year. Even this game was a classic example of that. McLennan, I don't know. After what I saw tonight, I doubt it, but I don't know. Travalia, I think he deserves some more time. Collard is so hit and miss. I mean, if he could start taking those speckies, kicking a couple of goals every week, that'd be great. But I just don't know if he could do it. And then Sharman's started going missing a lot with some more responsibility on him. So it's frustrating. A lot of these other people above, I see their point in the team and what they're trying to do long term. Steele is starting to become questionable, at least in the role that he's in. Bradley Hill, likewise. I think everybody else up here, you can pretty safely say they're safe. They're good long term. Marcus Windhager as well, Darcy Wilson too. But I think if we're thinking long term, like how much of this team could you structure up for a real tilt out of finals run in a couple of years?
Yeah, because I was gonna say that if you're looking at long term, you're gonna have to start questioning our players that, like you said, are hit and miss. They'll go good one week and then they're poor the next. You just got to figure out who's gonna, like you said, there for our next tilt of the flag, and who's just a passenger and along for the ride.
Yeah, that's essentially it. And like I know list managers and everybody like that, they have these long-term discussions, and I'm sure they have a lot of things that we as fans don't see. But there is a few questions regarding where certain players play. Mitch, Mateus, for me, are both questionable. I don't think Mitch can be a forward. As much as I love Mitch, we should have a look at some of his career and season stats. His goal average, not bad. Particularly this year, he has pulled it up. I think his accuracy is where I've had issues with him in the past. And tonight he had three shots that just didn't quite go. And if we look at him long term, that's just not kind of good enough. Like a career average shot at goal accuracy of 44%. It's not good enough.
It really is.
Yeah, I think Mitch could be a great midfielder, and I think we've all wondered what he could do there. And I think he had moments tonight when he got those options, but yeah, don't think he's an amazing shot at goal, to be honest. And he has a lot of score involvements, which is great, but yeah, it's kind of. And this is something I mentioned. I did the preseason chat with Jake on SaintsTV, or not Jake, but with Alana and Ollie on SaintsTV. And it was something I mentioned with Owens. He makes opportunities that others I don't think could. He has the strength to take contested marks that I don't think others could. Shirk, tackles that I don't think others could. But then with that opportunity that he creates, he doesn't do much with it. Like he'll miss those shots at goals from 45 out. He'll miss these angled shots because his drop is pretty bad. Like he just angles the footy onto his foot wrong. Because as a general. That's what I can see at least.
So it's something with
Yeah, I wonder about players long term, and if we really want to win the whole thing, who are we looking at that's probably maybe good as a backup, but not really there? And I wonder if some of the players that we have a great attachment to, maybe aren't the way to go. Like, I love Garcia. I was singing his praises all off season. Like, per disposal or per minute, disposals, score involvements, everything was insane. Looked like one of our best players. But now, nah. And there's some games where he looks good, but others where he just looks shocking.
Yeah. I even like Jack Higgins and what he's doing as a small forward. Is that like Ross Lyon obviously gives him a role, and you'd say if so. It's like, so when a coach does a role, gives you a role, you're there to, if you can execute your role, then you you've done your job. But if others haven't around you done it, then what's the point really? It makes you question your the team's commitment, I suppose.
Yeah, agree. I think there's a bit to be learned off of the watch through tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see centre bounce attendances for tonight's match. Looks like we do have it. Give me a sec. So we had Steele going at 63, McRae 72, Marshall 88, Garcia 38, Naz with 41, and Owens with 44. Now Owens will be split. Is that Owens? Yeah, that is Owens. Owens with 44%. That'll be split with Ruck. Looks like we've got Pooh with 22 and Sinclair with 34. I mean, it looks like they are addressing things that we would want them to, in the sense of Steele hasn't been getting it done in centre bounce. Maybe defensively, not bad, not terrible, but offensively, he's not done a lot. If we go back to here, one centre clearance for attending over half of our centre bounces against what is probably the worst, centre team apart from us, maybe. Like, it's not good enough. Serious questions need to be asked of our leadership. I think we need to look at, like, structurally what's, like, actually the best numbers wise, like, in a few different ways, because I wonder if Steele is the best option. Maybe he is defensively, and we need to take Garcia and McRae out when they're not doing the job offensively. I don't know exactly, but there needs to be a serious look into what's going on, because it's been pretty poor.
Yeah, that
So
sums it up. Being poor.
I mean,
No.
Naz had 3 centre clearances for what was 41% time on ground. I mean, it's or centre bounce attendances rather. I mean, it's getting to the point where he might have to go into the midfield if we want to actually win things. And yeah, I don't know. Like, if we were to give him the same sort of numbers that we gave Steele or McRae, even Steele, right, an extra third of what he got. So maybe he gets another sort of centre clearance, which makes up for Steele's 63 attendances, right? So, or 63%, but Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like we got to start going over numbers at this point because it's like we're clearly getting smashed in a few ways, and I'm all okay for getting sort of smashed if we can figure it out, and we know where we got smashed, and it's easy, and like it's all addressed and whatnot. But I guess being a fan, we don't get a lot of that information. But geez, mate, it's
And
not
you
great.
really can't control the outcome of the game. Like, if you're watching home on the TV, yeah, you can barrack, but it's like you don't have much control at all. It sucks.
Yep, that is for sure, mate. I mean, at least at the ground, if you're right at the boundary line, you might get somebody's attention once or twice and yell something at them. But no, Cliff couldn't agree more, man. Like, it's a rough watch. I'm probably going to have to watch it again, mate. So, like, at least you don't have to do that. I would have liked to see Boxall based on knowing the result now. Yeah, I don't know if he'd really change anything, to be honest. But yeah, it was a rough one. I think we do. At this point, I think Collard gets dropped. I think. Sorry, we'll share this tab as well. I'm just quickly going through. I think Collard gets dropped. We'll go to basics for now. Collard just didn't do enough. McLennan's going to get dropped for sure. I think Ross broke the phone when I nearly pulled my hair out, so we're kind of on the same wavelength there. Mason Wood and O'Connell, they're probably fine. Garcia might get dropped. Depends.
I don't think you're dropping Higgins after 5 goals.
No, Higgins will be fine. I'm just wondering who else might get the hammer this week. Like, honestly, if he wasn't our captain, Jack Steele would be under a bit more pressure.
Yeah.
Ryan
Burns.
Yeah. Hand pass.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a few really bad moments. I mean, Burnsy, I'd say probably honestly wasn't that bad. He's not amazing, but he's not terrible. And he puts his head over the ball, which some of our players don't.
Yeah.
Webster, I'd probably leave in the side, despite we probably need a better player than Webster in that back pocket role long term. I mean, long term 100%, short term as well, most likely. But Wilson probably survives. He didn't play a terrible game this week. In fact, thinking back on it, it might be one of his better ones. But it's not anywhere near his best. Windhager didn't do too badly. Bradley Hill I feel like he survived the chopping a couple of times this year. And I think we need to start. We've said this a couple of times, Ethan, but yeah, we need to start sending the message. Like, senior players can't just get in on name. Like, 2 clearances isn't terrible from an outside sort of player. 4 tackles. There's a few that didn't stick, so I wonder if they're effective. I wish they'd show us effective tackles, which is a frustrating one. Marks, yeah, he got out a little bit. Honestly, yeah, I didn't love Hill's game. Brian Marshall played really well. Jack McRae, he needs help. And it's frustrating because if we were getting the steal of like a year or 2 ago, that'd be his help. I mean, that'd be Jack Steele's help. So it's we're gonna have to start thinking about long term players' ages when we want to actually compete for a flag. I've expected us to be trying to go for it by the time the Tassie's in.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I don't know. I don't know if we can do that. Like, Tassie wants to be in 2028.
Yeah, that's right, 2028.
Like, we'd need to be competing properly by 2027. And that's,
And if we're not,
I don't know if this group can do it. Like, there's a few players that, like, because by that time, Wilkie's getting older. We'd need Caminiti to step up properly in that role of centre half back, full back, which means we probably still need one. Like, Dukes isn't going to do anything. Neither's like Cordy in 2-3 years. Like, McRae is probably pulling similar numbers to Steele at the moment, those sort of 16s by then. Roma is 31, 32 by then. Actually, it'd be 32 by then, maybe 33. So, I mean, I can understand why we'd want to go for De Koning and trying to hope we get him at this point. Jeez.
would he actually help us?
Naz and Sinclair, you could see. Like, Naz, you could see running the show for us. Sinclair could still see him having an important role. Windhager needs to kind of just take that one extra step, and he could definitely be in this side. Likewise with Wilson. Similar with Mateus. He's kind of not come back to the numbers we had end of last year, so we kind of need him to get back to there. Mitch needs to jump a level, at least be consistency, because, like, I think I mentioned it in the broadcast, he was like 3 goals, 0 goals, 3 goals, 0 goals, and then they were saying he might get 3 goals this match, which, you know, he didn't. He had 3 shots, so he could have, but yeah, nowhere near enough. Higgins could still be around playing good footy then. Garcia could be. O'Connell could be. Wood, 50-50. After this match, I don't know if I'm being harsh on McLennan, but that was really frustrating. I feel like we had 2 people just for the hamper. Like, we had one person 25 metres away for that kick in the middle. We had one person right next to him, and he hand-passed it to the only person he couldn't. Like, there was like 3 people on our team right next to him, and he hand-passed it to the one, I think it was Jake Waterman, but he just, that's somebody that doesn't have composure in moments that we need composure, and he's got to find it. Otherwise, I just can't see him being helpful long term.
You just question whether the players actually are. Do they actually really give a toss at all? Like, are they really mentally in it, or are we just going through?
I feel like that mentality stuff. I think they do. I don't think there's I don't think there's anyone that wants to go to their job and be the worst at their job. I've worked in many jobs where you've got metrics and you've got a team that you're trying to beat and sales and things like that. But I mean, it's just because it doesn't mean the end of the world, doesn't mean that you don't want to be, like, you don't want to ever be the worst at something, whether it's just something little at your job or whatever. But these people have a lot of focus on it. I don't think there's any level of they don't want to win. I think there's a lot of mentally, some people cook it. I think Angus did today. And they can't, like, you know, they're under pressure. They're not going to always make the right decision. But it's that composure under pressure that is what makes great teams and great players. So,
and
it's tough.
I was going to say, you would wonder if Tom De Koning would actually help us if he was in the team right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a question that, like, a few have posed, right? Yeah, I mean, mate, this is what there was a good little rumor going around last week that Mason Wood had the flu, and that's why Higgins was out and all that. So let's go with that again this week. But yeah, honestly, just if we're thinking about a premiership and we want to win it, right? There's a level of, like, unacceptable sort of stuff. There's been a couple times Brad Hill's done it this year, which is why I'd be wanting to send a message after. You can't lose to the bottom side that hasn't won a match in 10 rounds, that has barely won a match in 3 years. Like, you have to start sending messages at that point, in which Brad Hill has to get like the chop this week. And I'm being harsh because he wasn't really like it wasn't like a shocking game where he screwed up everything. But like, there was a few things that he did, and it's like, bro, you can't do that. Like, you're a senior player. You've got to hit these 20-meter passes. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Unfortunately, we didn't execute the basics right, and we're just basically repeating ourselves. I swear that's what we're
Yeah.
doing. There's
Well,
nothing
that's
we
it,
can.
mate. Look, Heath, I'm gonna wrap it up in a second. So I'll thank you for coming past, mate. And yeah, look, I'll say goodbye. Yeah, you've got your own Mighty Melbourne Stars, don't you, mate? Have you got much up on it?
So what we do is we basically do what Jake does with Saints TV with the match previews and reviews. I do the same thing with Melbourne Stars, like match previews, reviews. We've
Yeah.
had special. We've had we've had the general manager of the Melbourne Stars on, or former general manager. We also had
Nice.
former YouTubers. Everyone. We just talk all things Melbourne Stars, and yeah, it's really good.
Good, mate. Well, I'll check it out. I've got a mate that actually I've been known the Agars since I was young, so I don't watch a lot of the Big Bash League, but I should. So when I
Yeah.
start, I'll be sure to check you guys out.
Oh,
So I'll keep an eye out for you this year as it kind of comes rolling around. Thanks again, Heath. Have a good night, mate. And I'm going to start wrapping this one up, I think.
yeah.
And hopefully you don't have to watch this back because I do.
Oh, I'm not watching it. Anyway, there's always
All right, mate. You have a good one. Cheers.
bye.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, Heath was right. We're kind of going around in circles a little bit there. Base level disposal stuff was just shocking. I think the axe needs to be swung. Bradley Hill has unfortunately just become the one I've decided to target in on. He might not have even been the worst. I haven't watched it back, but the senior players need some level of accountability for this. Steele getting 16 disposals isn't great. And considering I'm pretty sure he was on Harley Reid for like half of that match, or at least parts of it. It's just not good enough. I mean, I'm just going to quickly check who West Coast sent to the midfield against us. It was mostly Matt Flynn, Harley Reid with 75%, Elijah Heward 56. I'll quickly show you. We've got, Graham, Brady Hoff, and Liam Ryan. A little bit of Brockman as well, who I believe got a centre clearance against us. Jeez. Like, the team's doing bad. They're not doing great. I wonder if we get any of the other events. That's out yet. No, not yet. All right. Yeah, I think there's a couple of senior players that might need a look in. Owens is like, for the love of God, get him out of the forward line. Like, he could be a good midfielder, but he can't kick a shot at goal. And I mean, when you tell a forward to like be a forward, they're going to try and kick shots at goal. So yeah, we got to get him out of there. Those shots are just shocking. I don't want to be too angry because, like, God damn, there's a lot of things that made me angry about that match, and like there's moments where I struggled to watch it. But yeah, I think I've just got to like try and not be too frustrated with this one. Be a little level-headed and watch it back, see what happened. But Yeah, that the numbers just suggest just terrible stuff from us. Yeah. Travis first. Travis. Who is Travis? Maybe there's a Travis on the other time. I'm tripping, man. Like I'm pretty angry about how badly we did. I don't think there's a Travis anywhere, but yeah, I can't believe Brady Hoff got on us in the midfield. Jesus Christ. And we dominated clearance as well. Like this is the thing that frustrates the hell out of me. It's just super ineffective. Like you wonder how many of the near 1,000 meters gained that Jack Sinclair got was just directly to a turnover, and how many meters they managed to get off of him. Because if we go back to our stats here, Jack Sinclair turned it over 11 times. 11 of his 38 disposals. Like it's nearly a quarter. It's over a quarter. Like McRae and Nas, like yeah, again, not great from them. Bradley Hill again, nearly. What is that? A third? No, he got more than that, didn't he? He got like 20 something. Okay, a little bit under a quarter. Like you can't have a quarter of your disposals direct turnovers. And it's like it's not just him. Like that's the problem, right? Like problem with it is it becomes like they're all our big ball movers. Like Hill, McRae, Sinclair. Roma's the only one here that didn't have tons of turnovers. Roma and Windhager. And like to be honest, Roma normally has a few more turnovers than this. Like where is he? 4. He's not far off. And McLennan's 4 turnovers from what, like 6 disposals? Nothing. 7 disposals, 4 turnovers. Yeah, no, McLennan's got to go. Like, yeah. I'm angry. Like this is me like trying to not be angry because like I'm fuming. Some of the efforts were just shocking. Like this disposal efficiency, we can get rid of both teams. Just St Kilda for a second. Look at this is where the average kind of lies. Somewhere around that 72% to 60 odd percent if you're forward. Like that's kind of where it lies. If you're above that, you're not doing too bad. So much of our team is like well below that. Wood, Sinclair, Hill, Hall, Steele, Owens, Naz, McRae, Pooh, and Garcia. It's just shocking. They're shocking numbers. Like overall DE, I don't love DE. It doesn't tell you a lot. But like DE says Steele has a reasonable game. It's because he hand pass. Like his hand passes hit the target reasonably well. And Naz jumps up a little. Garcia jumps up a little. McLennan's still shocking. Pooh jumps up a bit. McRae still shocking. Roma and then not great. But they've all jumped up a little bit due to like handballs actually hitting the target. Yeah, it's pretty shocking, man. Who was that uncontested? Yeah. I think Bradley Hill is the one for me that like kind of needs like if you're going to cut somebody based on like making a statement form as well, Brad Hill. And I don't love it, but yeah, I've been repeating myself for a little bit, guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you've got any final thoughts, chuck them in chat. If there's any stats that stood out to you, chuck them in chat. I'll have a quick look over them before we run it up. But yeah, we're gonna pretty much call it now. It's been a pretty shocking performance. Absolutely shocking performance. I mean, Sinclair got a few inside 50s. Intercept possessions, Caminiti did all right. Score involvements, Higgins did well. Wilkie did all right, actually. That was a good entry inside 50. Be good if we could play him a little bit further up the ground again. We probably need another third, sort of second tall defender. Yeah. Naz needs to go middle. Sinclair needs to come out. We need to find a second position for him. Because I reckon he'd be all right at locking down because he normally gets a few tackles. How did he actually do tonight? Yeah, he did well in tackles. So he's maybe not bad at locking somebody down, but we need more from him offensively or from the others if they're going to be the offense and he's the defense. So, yeah. Garcia, McRae didn't do great in that regard either. So, look, that's that's about it. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack in terms of what stats did the worst for us. I haven't even really looked at West Coast's efforts. I think a lot of this came down to us turning it over ourselves and really just stifling any movement that we had. We had plenty of opportunities, plenty of chains that could have become good chains, but just didn't. So, yeah, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much for joining. It's been a frustrating one. Good game to the Eagles and all their supporters that have come in chat and left their kind words. Anyway, cheers, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you next week. Talk to you Saints match. I don't know. Talk to you soon.